everyone, and welcome to our post-games interview updates. I'm your host, Lauren Kalil. Our show is brought to you by the U.S. Army Warrior Fitness Team. It provides awareness of Army opportunities while serving. Team members are active duty soldiers that compete in CrossFit and strong man, strong woman competitions, both nationally and internationally. To learn more, you can check out the link in our description. On today's show, we have CrossFit Games rookie who placed 14th in Madison, Nick Mathew. Man, how's it going? How do you feel right now?
It's still pretty surreal. It still doesn't feel believable yet.
Your story is so interesting to me because if you think about the whole process and the journey, I mean, you made it through a backfill. You technically weren't going to be competing at the games. And then you go to Madison, you show people what's up, and you place 14th.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. It definitely exceeded the expectations that I had set out initially. After I got that backfill spot, I was like, okay, well, let's just go to the games and figure out what I can do and hopefully make the top 30 cut. And then I don't know, on Tuesday night I got an event win, Saturday I got an event win, and it was just completely exceeded every expectation that I had.
So, in your mind, you thought that you were going to be closer to that bottom half of the games field?
Yeah, I did, originally. I, talked to my coach, and I was like, "Well, if we can make it into, the full weekend, make the cuts on Sunday and just ride out the whole entire weekend, that I'll be more than happy with that."
So then once you were winning events, you were making it into obviously through the last day of competition. Did you or do you feel like you fare better with more events throughout the course of several days than maybe a semifinal where you only get 6 events?
Definitely. And this is one thing that me and kind of, talked to my coach and the team about it, and, at, some of the semifinals, you get, 6 shots, 6 chances, in the workouts, and we kind of, were talking about, I never really had my, home run event.
Mm.
And there wasn't enough events to really have I wouldn't say I had terrible finishes in my semifinal, but you have a couple finishes that are outside the top 10, you don't get very many points for that. And then yeah, we get to the games. We have 13 events over the weekend, and then I started to get the ones that I could hit the home runs on, and then on top of that, there's just more points to factor in, more opportunities for people to go up and down with different events. And I feel like I'm just kind of middle of the road on a majority of workouts. I don't really I haven't really bombed any workouts completely, but I don't really have that many that I completely excel.
So when you were out there, the games, there's so much unknown. Nobody knows what to expect at the games every year. And especially this year with a brand new programmer with Boz out there were a lot of big question marks. But you succeeded at what you could consider like the most unknown elements, the speed, skill medley workout where it had all of these new components. Kind of take me through like when you were sitting in the Coliseum and they're announcing what this workout is going to be, what was the atmosphere like? Was everybody quiet? Was everybody like, what the heck are they expecting us to do? Like, what was it like back there?
I'd say, I mean, at any athlete briefing, there's so many questions. Number one, everybody's got a question about the workout. Um, I think most of the chatter was wow, there's a lot of the new movements are coming within one workout, and it's really going to be a completely new feel and new test just all around. Sure, we've done pegboards before, but then they throw in single unders in the same run. You know what I mean? And we've done handstand walk over obstacle pretty easily, but then the second round they threw a pirouette in there and strict legless pegboards, and it was super fun. I really enjoyed it. Um, After they announced it, I knew I could do all the skills because I've done them in the past, just playing around and having fun, and yeah. So I was pretty excited going in after I heard that that got announced.
So were any of those movements new to you?
I think the only one that was the most new was the double under crossover, because I've done crossover single unders ever since like elementary school. And then it just didn't take very long to figure out the coordination to just do an extra pull through and then made it the double under.
Okay, so then you hear the announcement, everybody starts warming up. I can imagine that people kind of start to look at what the other athletes are doing, like who looks like they're going to do well, who looks like they're going to struggle. Could you kind of like size everybody up to know, hey, I think that I might win this?
I mean, I looked over at my coach like after I got back with him and we talked about it, and I was like, I can do all those movements pretty like I can do them. And I kind of like talked out of my butt a little bit and was like, I'm gonna win this one. Like I'm gonna be a rookie and I'm gonna win this one.
Oh,
And
that's amazing.
I mean, yeah, and it was just kind of talking out of my butt at the time, and I was just like, oh, whatever. Like, okay, let's have some fun with it. And then, I mean, I hit the double over crossovers, a few of them right away, and that went fine. Like, I've done pegboards without legs before plenty of times, so it was just a matter of like I have a tendency to like look a lot at what other people are doing, even on the competition floor sometimes. And kind of our like thought process behind going to the games this year was to like stay in my lane, eliminate the pressure, like focus on the things that I control. And I think that was a workout specifically where you had to pay so much attention to every little detail that it didn't give me a chance to really look over at other people either. So I just kind of stayed in my own lane, ran my own race, did what I can, and just ended up coming out on top, I guess.
What did it feel like to be one of the only athletes to even like get through that workout?
It was absolutely crazy. I tell people like as soon as I got up into my press handstand on the parallettes, as soon as I got up, I was like, oh my God, I just won my first games. Because I figured I wasn't going to fail on the rest of the handstand walk just because I'm really comfortable in terms of that. Like that's a, I'd say a big strength of mine is handstand walking.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, as soon as I stood up and jumped up and got up on that platform, it was unreal.
I mean, it was unreal to watch. And everyone's like, this man in the crop top who's a rookie, look at him go. Holy crap. Like
Just a
it was
random guy at the games in the
electric.
crop.
Well, I wouldn't say random, but it was like
Oh,
you didn't like you technically didn't get your ticket to the games through a semifinal. You got there through a backfill. So I think your story is just so unique. And then you finish like in the top half of the field from your entire week. It's really cool to see. But speaking of the crop top, I gotta know, how did this come about? What is the story? Is there a certain length that the crop top's got to be? Because some of them look like a questionable bra size, while
yeah,
other ones a
yep,
little
yep.
bit longer. Give us the
You know,
details.
I've been kind of thinking about it because people have asked me that question a few times, like, what's the deal with it? And you know, I back in 2018, I did regionals for the first time. Um, Me and one of my buddies at the gym, we just did like a random crop top Tuesday, and then we
Love
just
it.
played with that, messed around with that, and then I took it into my first regionals, and then ever since regionals that year, I think they said something uh on the live stream about me wearing a crop top, and I was like, well, there's my thing, and I kind of made a joke about it, and then at every competition since then, I've worn, at least for one of the events, a crop top. At least that events that allowed us to wear whatever we wanted, and it just kind of stuck, and then got my chance to do it on the big stage, and was just like, well, let's go in with a bang.
Okay, so you
Let's
get
have
to
some fun.
Madison, you get your uniform, and then did you have your own like crop top slicer? Did you call a buddy? Like, what was this process like?
No, just went downstairs to the lobby of the hotel, grabbed a pair of scissors, and went back upstairs and measured it compared to one of my own crop tops, and just cut it.
No, but they look professionally cropped. They're very straight lines.
I mean, you can thank my girlfriend for that one if you want, but yeah, like we just grabbed it with a normal pair of scissors and just cut through it, because then it gives it the authentic, like flip up at the bottom. Like the normal crop tops, they have like a finished seam. We got to get
Yeah,
the
yeah.
authentic, like where the shirt rolls up and stuff.
I mean, they look amazing. Props to your girlfriend for those straight lines. Very impressive, I know from experience. So the crop tops, you get your first event win. Talk to me about that sandbag ladder. And let's even go back to, a while back before the games, Boz had teased that on Saturday there's going to be a heavy lift. So I'm sure everybody was expecting some kind of like barbell lift, a complex, whatever. They tell you that there's no barbell and we're doing sandbags. What was the first thought that you had?
I loved it. Well, I got to love it, I guess. I'd say it was like, how fun is this really going to be to watch? Just because it's like, well, you can pick it up or you can't pick it up. But
Sure.
then I thought more about the most I've ever picked up on a sandbag before was a 250 pounder that I have at my gym, and I know I can do it for like reps in a workout. So I was like, well, this will be cool to figure out how heavy you can lift. And then like my mind went into like, I mean, they do stuff like that in strongman where you pick it up to a platform and things like that. And ultimately, I think the athletes themselves made it like as much of a great event it was. Like seeing some of the people
Mhm.
like fight with the bag to get it up there. I mean, I think Cole Sager had that thing on him for at least a minute, at least. So like, and he was like, the crowd was getting jacked up behind it and stuff too, and he like kept fighting, and yeah, it was. I think a lot of that had to do with the athletes making it so epic.
What was the heaviest sandbag in the warm-up room?
I think we had a 300 back there. We had a 260, and then I think the next one went up to 300. So it was kind of a big jump, and everybody in the back was like, it looked like the 300 was pretty heavy. Like I even picked it up, and like I was like, oh God, well, I hope a lot of people fall off by the time we get to 300. But then we get out on the floor, and everybody's doing it as if it was a 200-pound bag.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody fell off until the bag got over 300 pounds. So that
S-
was pretty cool.
So as you're advancing through, was every lift like after 300 a surprise?
Um, the most I'd lifted before was 250. So I think even starting at 260 was like, okay, let's see how this feels. And then it was just 10-pound jumps after that. So each one felt fine all the way up. I think for me personally, the hardest bag or the first time I really felt like the weight of the bag was probably about that 310 mark. And then 320, 330, 340 were definitely questionable.
But I mean, you and Gee, the 340, that was pretty
Yeah, that dude's
incredible.
strong.
Well, and that's the thing.
Yeah, it
Everybody
was it
knows
was
that he's
crazy.
strong, especially from seeing him at the games last year and even in his semifinal. I mean, everybody gets amped up to see him lift, but then you're out there going head to head with him. People got to watch out now for the next time we see something heavy.
Hey, yeah, strength events. I'm coming for them. I don't know. I came into CrossFit with a background of just like heavy powerlifting, bodybuilding, like just trying to lift and get big and get strong. So when I came into CrossFit, I kind of had like a lot of that. That strength was my strength.
Mhm.
And it took a lot for me to get away from that and really focus on working on my engine and getting better at gymnastics and every other component that has to do with CrossFit. But I mean, I love lifting heavy weights. I like throwing around sandbags. Like that's the beginning right there.
I love
That's
that.
where it all
What
started.
what were you thinking when you saw them? Well, I mean, you and Gee lift the 340 bag, but then when you see them slowly bring out the 350.
I was excited for the 350. I thought it was even cooler that it had like a piece of tape over it. Like it was just like kind of like a rugged feel, like it's been abused and beat up before. And it was just like, yeah. But as soon as we picked up that 350, it was a different animal. That extra 10 pounds made a big difference.
Sure. It was a crazy event. And even like you said, it would have been really cool to watch a barbell event. And I wasn't sure as a spectator if it was going to be exciting or boring with the sandbags, but it honestly, like, it was one of my favorite events to watch from the Coliseum just because I mean, the atmosphere and the looks on people's faces, it was like all of the athletes got to a certain place and every lift was like a PR.
Yeah, for sure. And like there was even a point down on the floor where like some of the guys, like we were even like chatting down there. Like at first it was like tense. Everybody was like, okay, we're gonna get our lifts and see who's we're in placings. And then it got to a certain point where we were just laughing and joking around down there and like giving each other kudos. And yeah, it was just even that part was just super fun and exciting to be down on the floor and kind of eliminated more stress too. Like actually got to have fun with it and enjoy the crowd and enjoy the energy and the atmosphere. And yeah, that was unlike anything I've ever experienced.
So out of the entire CrossFit Games as your rookie year, what was your favorite event?
Oh man. Favorite event? I mean, kind of biased to like those two events, the speed medley and the sandbag clean. Like it was great. And then the amount of people that kind of reached out, like even friends and family from hometown, like just the people that reached out after those events and just
Mhm.
made my day with their comments and tags and all that stuff on Instagram and texting and all that. I mean, that was pretty big. Um, I don't know. For a personal win, I think the believe it or not, the kettlebell clean and jerk and the sled push, alpaca sled push workout.
Ah,
I feel
yeah.
like for me that was a big personal win because I'm not usually very good at like pushing sleds or anything like that. Like notoriously anyway from past competitions and things. And I didn't win that event by any means. Like I wasn't even top 10, but for a personal win, that was a big one for me. Kind of instilling that more confidence that I kind of belong with them.
Mm. I mean, you certainly belong 14th at the CrossFit Games in your rookie year. That's impressive in itself, especially when we look at the depth of the field and even leading up to the games. Many of us were talking about this is the most competitive men's field that we've ever seen at the CrossFit Games. So, I mean, we tip your hat to you. That was really cool to watch unfold. Um, on the contrary,
I appreciate that.
what was your least favorite event?
Oh man, the swim workout. It wasn't very far. I am not the best swimmer. I don't like sharks, and they could be anywhere. Um,
Even in a pool.
they could be. You never know. But no, that like even like at first I was like, oh my god, I don't even know. Like I knew what my 50-meter time was. I was like, I don't know if I'm even gonna make it out of the EMOM part of it. And like thinking about that going into the workout, then it made the warm up just everything that could have went wrong during the warm up went wrong. Like my goggles kept filling up with water. I kept bumping into people in the swim. My swim cap was like squeezing my ears too tight, like literally
Oh.
everything. And then my coach was just like, be quiet, focus in, give it your best go. So he kind of reeled me back in. And then afterwards, like it wasn't nearly as bad as I thought, but that was still my least favorite.
Okay, so then looking back at your rookie year at the games, what would you say is your biggest takeaway?
I would say biggest takeaways, and this is what me and my coach have talked about. Me and my coach Matt have talked about quite a bit. Is just stay in my lane, give my best effort, like focus on what I'm doing, not what everybody else is doing, and then just go into it with confidence that you belong. Go into it with confidence with each workout. Like as soon as you start to doubt yourself, all of that's going to come into play, and then it wasn't as bad as you thought it was going to be in the first place anyway. So it's just like eliminating that negative thoughts and staying in my own lane.
So when can we see you next? What off-season competitions are you preparing for?
All of them, anything. I don't know. I'm
Let's
hoping
go.
I want to go to Rogue. I want to bring the crop top to Rogue. Um, Wadapalooza. I'll never miss Wadapalooza. I love that place down there. I just love the Miami feels and just summertime in or winter time in Florida compared to Minnesota is much better.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, was thinking about Dubai, but unsure about that one as of right now. But I just want to keep dabbling in, get into as much as I can, because then it keeps me accountable to the gym and staying focused and training hard and lead right back into the open and run it back next year.
I think regardless, you need to start your own like crop top t-shirt sales. That's what the people
Well,
want.
we'll give the people what they want. No, we definitely have plans to come out with a crop top line.
Ooh,
We're
okay,
working on it
good.
right now. We got tank tops, t-shirts, and 3/4 sleeves. So it's gonna
Okay,
be
so
fun.
where can people find these?
As of right now, not anywhere, but I will be releasing them on my Instagram, probably the first spot, and then going from there.
Okay, any idea of a release date?
Talking to a couple of different companies right now, so it's still in the works. Um, yeah, to be TBD still on that.
Okay. All right. We will make sure to be watching you closely on Instagram to see when those t-shirt crops drop. In the
I'll
meantime,
tag it for sure.
perfect. We will share that all day. I know that I'll get one in every single style because I mean, it was amazing. I
Wonderful.
love it. I love it. Nick, incredible performance at the games this year. We cannot wait to see you at these other off-season competitions. Congratulations and enjoy some well-earned time off if you can.
I'll definitely try. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of this.
Thanks, Nick.